For our brand love report, we studied over 100 top marketers and we asked them essentially what it takes in their minds for a brand to be so brilliant, so great that it's utterly loved. And what was really interesting was, firstly, it really matters to get your brand to that elevated state. People are 3 times more likely to recommend a brand they love, and they are twice as likely to stick around when it makes mistakes. In fact, they'll tolerate about 5 pretty major mistakes from a brand if they really love it. So there's an awful lot of goodwill, a lot of customer loyalty in there if you can get your brand to be loved. So how do you go about it? Well, the interesting thing is that price, which so many marketers will spend a lot of time puzzling over, price isn't important, nor is customer service. I mean, of course, customer service matters. We want to be looked after by the companies we buy from, but the price and the customer service are not going to make us love that brand. What makes us love a company, love a brand, are much more emotive things around trust. So that matters for 60%. Back that up with values. So we love a brand when its values resonate with us, when it stands for something we believe in or we feel comfortable with. So we feel that the brand is the right kind of brand for us. And we also love a brand, according to over 45% of the marketers we studied, when the brand becomes part of our lives. And you can see that really powerfully with certain brands over time. You look at, say, Lego, a really iconic, loved brand. Now that's obviously a fantastically clever toy innovation, but it has worked really hard to stay part of people's lives as they grow up, something they carry on giving as a gift. They can relate to it, they can reminisce over it. It's become a part of the fabric of their childhood, and it's become part of the fabric of their lives as they become parents. So it's those powerful connectors between a brand and its audience that really make it a loved brand. So don't agonize over price, don't agonize over customer service. Of course, those have got to be brilliant, but if you want your brand to be loved, it's all about trust, your values, having those that relate to your customer, and of course, then making sure that you become part of their lives. So we've established that there's great value in having a brand that's loved, and that in order to be loved, you've got to have some kind of intimate connection with your customer. But how do you go about achieving that? Well, the first thing to bear in mind is customer understanding is absolutely crucial. So your customers want to feel that you absolutely understand them, their needs, that you're for them, that you're part of their lives. And that involves great insights into what makes them tick, and what they're all about. So use the data that sits within your organisation and perhaps some big data skills to really get to grips with your customer base. The second thing is all around values. You may have recalled that I mentioned earlier that customers want to love brands that are on the same wavelength as them. You have similar values, they can relate to you, they feel that you're the sort of organisation that should be a part of their lives. So you need to decide what's your purpose, what your values are, and communicate those wholeheartedly right across your organisation. The next thing that you've got to then achieve is to ensure that all of your team is on board with this, and that you can maintain that level of authenticity around your values for the long term. You can't adopt some kind of approach just to tactically win yourself short-term business. Your values have got to be something you can live with and your team can communicate consistently for the long term, because great brands are not built overnight. Once you're communicating what you stand for and what you're about wholeheartedly, you also then need to take a look at your customer service team. And that's because, as you may have realised from the fact that really loyal customers who love a brand will put up with lots of mistakes from them before they walk away, that suggests that some of those really loyal customers might be sitting in your customer complaints department waiting for something to be dealt with. So have a really good look at customer care and see how that's operating, what's coming into that team, what's going out from that team, and make sure that that's working absolutely brilliantly. And the final lesson in order to have a brand that's really loved is to not be complacent. The most damaging thing you can do is to take your current customers for granted. It's very tempting in organisations for them to chase after the shiny new customers and to neglect the old ones. But nothing is more galling than to see new customer offers going out, great deals, great offers that aren't available to you as a loyal customer. It absolutely alienates the customer. It affects trust, and trust is the most important ingredient in a loved brand. So that's all there is to it. You just need to understand your customer, stand for something, communicate that consistently right throughout your organisation. Take a look at what's happening in customer care and just make sure that that's operating with its A game. And don't take anything for granted when it comes to your current customers. They are your biggest advocates and they will help you develop, grow your business.